I'd like to welcome Matthew Sweetwood today. Larger than life, Matthew Sweetwood is the president of Unique Photo. He began his full-time career at Unique Photo while he was attending the University of Pennsylvania.
That was Civil War time, I think.
Was it?
Or maybe it was, no, it was World War I, I think that was exactly.
I didn't say that though, you did. It's all on you.
Yeah.
He's nationally become known as a marketing innovator, risk taker, and extremely quick and creative thinker. More recently, he's credited with the reinvention of Unique Photo, my favorite camera store, which is the country's largest store in education. And he's right here in Fairfield, New Jersey. He's been a regular photography contributor on Fox News, and I've been up at 5 a.m. watching him on that. So he's also been on the NBC Today show, News 12 New Jersey, and much, much more. And he's the photography expert who really knows how to get publicity for his business. So I wanted to bring him here today. Tell me a little bit about your background in photography, Matt.
To be honest with you, I mean, photography for me has really been by osmosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not formally educated anyway in photography. I've just been around it since I was a little boy. And, you know, when you're around photographers, you're around the equipment, you see the evolution of the equipment, you play with it, you sell it, you do everything. You eventually, you know, after, you know, since World War I started, you eventually pick it up.
Okay,
And one of the things that I always do, you know, here in the store, we have, you know, 20-something photographers who are working the sales floor. They're all trained professional photographers. And one of the things I always talk to them is it's not about the equipment. It's about your artistic eye. It's about how you view things. And I very frequently like to take relatively inexpensive cameras and show that you can produce, particularly today's cameras are, you know, really amazing. Right. I try to show that you can produce wonderful images.
Right, and I just want to make note that you take some amazing images with your smartphone camera because you do a lot of publicity for Unique Photo and you do an amazing job. You're a publicity giant all over the media and social media, and you're using your smartphone now. I think you have an Android. Am I correct?
Yeah, I have a Samsung Galaxy S5.
Okay, so is that what you're using to photograph what you see? There we go. That's
right.
what I want to see.
That's my guy, right? Right. Okay. You know, we just turn it on there. Wait, text message. There we go. See, that's my.
Nice.
That's my.
Okay, so you've got a nice case also to protect your baby.
Yeah, right? That's right. That's more, I don't really drop my phone, but every once in a while I get irritated at someone, so I hit them with it. Mm-hmm. You know, it protects the phone when I strike them with my phone. So.
Okay, so it's all about protecting the phone because that phone is your eye to the rest of the world. Is that correct?
That's right. You know, in fact, I had a conversation last night. I was at an event in New York City, and we were talking about sort of being materialistic and not wanting everything, and they were talking about, you know, some guy picks out a small phone and he says, yeah, that's why I have this flip phone or whatever like that. And I'm like, a phone is not really about the value of the electronics. It's really about what it allows you to do. And the example I gave him was, I do on my phone the same device. I communicate with my children who are all over the country instantly. We keep together as a family, and I do PR for my business. So I don't really view it as an electronic device. It's a communication device. It's a tool which is extremely vital. Obviously, I'm saying a smartphone. I'm not like inventing this concept. Smartphone is extremely important, you know, in today's world if you want to be functional and efficient.
Yes, no, absolutely. And you do the visual marketing with it because you're not just communicating with text, right? You're not just posting tweets and social. You usually post, and I see your posts all the time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Right, that's right.
So you're using a photograph that you take with your smartphone?
Right, absolutely. So that's a really excellent point in the fact that many social media experts really, photography is something they'll do occasionally, but it's really, like you said, it's about a tweet, it's about a Facebook post, it's about all of those things that go with it. We're in the photography business, right? The slogan of a camera store is create better pictures, which centers around our education program. So if I'm going to talk the talk, I need to walk the walk. So whenever I do my social media, every once in a while there'll be a little bit of philosophy in my social media you've seen, which is non-photo related, but 95% of what I post is with a picture. With a picture and then something meaningful or something relevant to place it in its why I'm actually doing that. But yes, so if you look on my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, very rarely is something put up there that doesn't have a picture associated with it.
Right, and I see that you also use hashtags when you do the post. Tell me about that a little bit.
Say it again?
Your hashtags. You use hashtags.
Oh
when you
yeah,
post
absolutely. I
pictures.
hashtag everywhere. Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I use Instagram a lot because that's a very easy way to post to all. I don't particularly work Instagram in terms of followers,
Okay.
but I certainly, my most influential piece that I have is my Facebook. My Facebook is basically followed by the entire photo industry. But I use Instagram because it allows me to post a picture on Instagram, apply some sort of editing to it, simple. And now Instagram has really fantastic tools. They just added a whole mess of tools. And I can post it on Twitter. So Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and Flickr, and Tumblr, all in the same shot.
Right, great. So what is your favorite social media platform of all of those?
Of all of them, like if you said to me, I could only have one going forward, it would be Facebook for me.
Okay.
I feel that that is the most interactive, and it's also, you choose who you interact with in Facebook. So, there, you see lots of jokes going around, the man at his funeral, nobody shows up at his funeral and people are lamenting. They said, well, he had 1,500 Facebook friends. But in terms, so, just because you're a Facebook friend doesn't mean they're going to show up at your funeral.
Right.
The issue is that with Facebook, you control directly who it is, and it's a real-time interaction with you. So for me, the news, the events, and the things that we do are very topical, and I like to interact. I don't believe that social media is just post something and then move on. Twitter tends to be a little bit more post something and move on.
Right.
Instagram, because of its linear timeline, I mean, your stuff gets moved quickly out of the way, particularly if you have a lot of followers, because there's people out on Instagram that'll get confused with Instagram and a photo album, and they'll go to an event and they'll take 20 pictures and they'll post them on Instagram. And the problem with that is then the next person is 21 pictures away and it's hard to go through. So I don't think that's such a good interactive means. Facebook, partially good because of the way they control the feed. So if you put something popular up there, a lot of people start liking it, it moves to the top of everybody's page, right? So it's your incentive to really post something worthwhile, so you get a lot of initial likes and comments. It moves it up, and to me, that creates the most conversations and the most interactions with the people that count.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that you are very active on Facebook, and we are friends on
Right,
Facebook,
that's right.
So we are able to communicate beyond just the Facebook feed, but we also message each other so that we can communicate, and actually did for this interview.
Right, but don't you find that, like, for example, it's only because we have common interests, right? We have common interests in social media and marketing and photography, but we also have met in person, and we also have a friend relationship outside. And so Facebook really enhances that relationship. It doesn't substitute for it, but it enhances the personal relationships that you have. So I would say, if I have, I think I have like 800 or 1,000, somewhere between 800 and 1,000 Facebook friends, I would say of those people, I would say a good 700 I've met in person, or I have a personal interaction with. So the Facebook side of it, it doesn't substitute, not that anybody's going to show up at my funeral anyway, but that's really a separate issue. 700 of those people I have a relationship with outside of Facebook, so the Facebook side only enhances that. It keeps them up to date with what's going on. It allows me to interact with them and form a relationship which goes beyond, just sort of this liking people's pictures on Facebook. And it's the return on relationships, right, that is really the hardest thing to measure with social media. And I can use the example that we have. So we have this relationship that goes on, right? And as a result of our relationship, you've become an advocate for my company.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
but it's only because of the extended relationship. You shop in many stores, you don't have a relationship with the people in those stores. You're not necessarily going to recommend them. You're not going to think about them or talk about them.
Sure.
So to me, creating that relationship, which Facebook helps extend, is really fundamental to your business model and building that presence in social media.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you brought that up, the importance of the social media for the smartphone photography, to kind of multiply it and enhance it and make sure that people get to see it. Now, I would like to focus on your actual smartphone camera and how you photograph. This expert interview is going to be featured in my smartphone photography chapter, because you are an expert with that smartphone.
Right, that's right.
Photography.
Right, and that goes back to my original point, which is you don't necessarily need a fancy piece of equipment, particularly if you want to produce a good piece of social media. The best camera is the camera you have with you. And for me, the key aspect of the smartphone is that it takes a good enough quality picture for social media use to get it online rapidly, right? Isn't that really the key?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is to have it topical, right? So you need to have it happen. Yesterday I was in New York for a business meeting. I was actually meeting with a social media person on a brand new technology that comes out. I was a little bit early for the meeting because I'm always early. And I was walking around New York, and lo and behold, they were having a Harley Davidson festival, this thing. It was live wire. They were introducing the first electric motorcycle, right?
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it in the news yesterday.
I heard it's coming.
Right. I turned the street corner, and the event was sitting right in front of me.
Oh, wow.
So that allowed me, I took pictures of their trailer, they started the bikes. I mean, I took all of this stuff. It's on my social media without a smartphone. Now, I could just post something, just saw the live wire event. People would be like, what does it look like? What's going on? Right. So I was able to capture 4 or 5 quick pictures, check them all off, and post them right to my Facebook timeline instantly.
You used photographs, actual pictures, not a movie.
Not movie.
You didn't use movie. Okay.
Right. The funny part about that, if you read the comment on my Facebook line, is that I didn't know the motorcycles were on. Okay. Because they're silent, because they're electric, so I wasn't ready to video when they took off. But yes, sometimes I'll use video. Sometimes I will use video. I was in Central Park the other day, and there was a trampoline. A high wire act.
I did see that.
You did see that, right?
I did see that.
The picture of that isn't quite as good as. But once again, what did I do? I took it with Instagram, right, and then shared it on all the various social media sites. Okay. And the Facebook and the camera phone is particularly good when you're outside, right? The lighting is better. You can certainly get a good picture, but it's really about composition, right? And it's about taking a timely picture. The trick, I would say, really about smartphone photography and social media is think about what you want to say to your audience based upon what you're looking at, and then take a picture that tells that story.
Okay. So it's about the story.
It's about the story, right? Okay. And then because I'm in the photography business, I own a camera store, right? You want to take the best possible image of that, right? Absolutely. And to me, pictures share the stories. So that's really the advice I would give when you want to do social media is don't think picture first. Think of the story. And then think of what is the image that captures that story that you want to pass on as clearly as possible. Okay, and the composition of your photograph, there's something that I really want to talk to you about. Right. Do you use the grid lines on your photos, like the rule of thirds? Here, I can maybe show you right now. Please so do. If I open my camera, I'm just opening, I'm not doing anything. Can you see the grid lines? Okay, so the answer is yes, particularly if you're doing Instagram, those 2 vertical grid lines are extremely important, right? Because they help you figure out really where the Instagram is going to go. And I am also a mathematician by trade. That's what my degrees are. I have an advanced degree in theoretical mathematics. So for me, mathematical precision and alignment and everything are extremely important. They also show skill in photography. Sure. And so you definitely want to do that. The other thing I'll add too is that you have your smartphone with you all the time. So sometimes I'll take a picture of something that isn't timely to post at that moment. Okay. So I'm thinking social media all the time. Like for example, we're running our expo this week, and we have various ads in motion right now. One of the ads that we have is we have billboards on the back of buses that travel around New Jersey. I took a picture of one of those buses on a Sunday afternoon. It happened to be driving by. I was actually running. Exercising. The bus was driving by. I didn't want to post it Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock because you're not going to get a lot of viewership. So that's sitting in my phone, and I'm actually going to post that image this afternoon and say, hey, everybody, look, we've got this expo coming, and I have a cool picture of a bus with our billboard on the back of it. So you're going to do that on Instagram? I don't know. I might do it on Instagram. I probably will do it on all the various social medias. Okay, separately. Do you do that? That might lend itself. I have to look at the picture. Okay. I haven't decided whether I'm going to use the square format of the picture. Gotcha. It will go on Instagram, and it will definitely go on Facebook, and it will definitely go on Twitter. I don't know if it'll be the same image, though. Okay. One thing I want to ask you is about Google+, because I know that you're there as well. Now, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So, of course, there's no Google+ posting in Instagram. That's correct. How do you go about posting your pictures in Google Plus in addition to every other place? Well, if I feel it's an appropriate venue for Google Plus, and I do use it sometimes, you just simply use the Google Plus app on your phone. Gotcha. Right. I mean, certainly on an Android phone, it's built in automatically because it's a Google OS. and you can just post the image up there and share it however you like.
Okay, so you do that too, because
I do that too.
I'm very into SEO and optimizing your presence, because social media is great. A lot of times your content will just push down and be
That's right.
lost.
You know, it's also a good method is LinkedIn is also a very good choice.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So what I wanted to ask you was, do you ever reuse the photos that you take on your smartphone beyond that, maybe on your website, or do you create anything else with that content?
It will very rarely happen. It's mostly business use. I mean, we are once again running a professional camera store. So if we're going to do something on our website, really the pictures tend to be more professional.
Sure.
You know, though I will tell you that I've taken some pretty dazzling pictures, and every once in a while a picture will make its way into a place that you wouldn't think a smartphone picture can get.
Okay.
It happens occasionally, but that's not the intention. When we want to photograph something, we take a real camera and actually go about and do that.
Sure, and I'll speak to one of your head photography instructor, Mike Downey.
Right.
I have learned so much from him, and he's actually going to be a featured expert interview as well. So I'm very fortunate to have that happening soon.
Right, and Mike does very similar kinds of things. I mean, he walks around with his camera all the time, but he's big in social media also.
He taught me about some amazing apps on the smartphone to kind of take the photography to the next level. And I wanted to ask you about that. Do you just use the native camera app, or do you find that you get a little more help with exposure in a photography app? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, in the case of the Samsung S5, one of the reasons why I use that particular smartphone is it arguably has the best camera in a smartphone. It also has the best camera app.
Okay.
It has lots of manual control. It also has editing feature built in to the phone. And I do editing live on the phone. I can crop, I can adjust all sorts of things on the phone.
Okay.
Which is really good, because sometimes you take an image and there's something in it you don't want, something you want to adjust, and you don't want to Instagram it. It's not about the square format, and you want to do something. I've used the editing tools in there frequently in the phone.
Okay.
So the app that comes with this particular phone is excellent, and I know there's many other apps out there, many other applications, but I don't really use them because of the phone that I have.
Right. And I think it takes amazing pictures, and you do absolutely pay attention to your editing. So there's never any junk, if you will, in your photographs. Like sometimes you just see somebody take a photo and they want to share it quickly, and they don't really think of the composition and pieces of the image that may not necessarily need to be in there because they're not telling the story.
The art of photography does not change with the device that you have. You still need good composition, good subject, good lighting, all of those things in order to create a good image, and I'm obviously very conscious of that. You very rarely see me post an image that's not really top-notch.
Right. No, I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
Right, that's right. I mean, certainly if I have, if it's a newsworthy event, you take what you can get, If you're photographing, an event of some kind and something miraculous or bad or good or whatever happens, then you take the photograph that you have. But most of the stuff, obviously, is not like that. You have control over it.
Oh, absolutely. And you do that. And you always seem to have very well-lit pictures. You always look for the light. So your pictures are really crisp and sharp. There's really very limited, if any, blur in them. Maybe if someone's moving.
That's right. Or I'm deliberately putting blur in, right? I'm pretty proud of my smartphone photography.
Absolutely. And you should be. I mean, I became a better smartphone photographer because of the foundation that I learned in photography at Unique.
That's right. And I learned what I learned here, obviously, is what I apply to my smartphone photography.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
We want to take the best images that we possibly can, always.
Of course, because this is a camera. It doesn't look like a traditional camera, which is like one there behind me, right? So, but it is a camera. And with that, you need to apply certain principles. So I wanted to ask you, Matt, because you talked about this in our last interview, but I want to kind of focus on the smartphone aspect of it. You mentioned that there was technology that's being introduced by the camera companies because they want to get in on the forefront of the Bluetooth technology that exists with this need for sharing photographs and being able to share them quickly. So can you speak to me a little bit about that in this interview too?
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
If you look at, I think a really prime example of that is Panasonic.
Okay.
Their Lumix cameras, they have a Panasonic app. I think I could probably quickly find it on the phone here. But that app actually allows you to connect with their cameras. It's through Wi-Fi. It's not through Bluetooth. It's through Wi-Fi direct. and that app will allow you to control the camera. It will allow you to download and upload pictures to the camera. Okay, Sony has an app like that too, and they continually update that app as they come out with new cameras.
Okay, so
right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so that app really changes the complexion of things. Okay,
so that's live now. That's not something that's coming. It's here now.
Right. So it's actually I can't really show you the app. So this is what it looks like. It starts to put your pictures together.
Okay.
This is the Panasonic app right there.
So that was taken with the Panasonic, those pictures?
No, actually those pictures were not in there, but if you have pictures, it'll start to sync. It basically syncs your phone with the camera.
With the camera?
That's right.
Oh,
so
okay.
you can actually share pictures. You can take pictures that have been taken on the camera, share it with your phone, and then immediately social media them. It also allows you to change settings on the camera remotely. Some apps actually allow you to see through the camera.
Oh, wow.
Like if you take a GoPro or you take a Sony Action Cam, you can actually look in the display and see what's on, actually the camera is seeing.
Okay, so say like you had it on a tripod and or someone else was holding it and you were doing it remotely. You
That's
could
right.
actually control
and you can
it.
fire the shutter depending on the app, and those apps are getting more and more and more sophisticated.
Wow, that sounds very, very up and coming. That's
right.
amazing.
To me, that's a very exciting development because you sort of get the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Right? You get to take that amazing picture that really only a camera is going to take because of the physics of the lens and the image sensor and everything.
Right.
And typically when you do social media, if you're doing it right, you're taking one picture and posting it.
Right.
Unlike people who make a mistake, and I'm saying this to everybody out there listening, right? Social media is not about volume, it's about quantity, right? It's about the quality of the pictures, it's not quantity.
Okay.
Right? So you ultimately, for me, getting one amazing image and then doing social media with that is much better than capturing 10 images and trying to post them all out there, which is what a lot of people do. So for me, the ability to take, a high quality Canon camera or Nikon camera or Panasonic Lumix camera and then take that one great image and upload it is really a very exciting development.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that I've taken many photographs in succession to make sure that I get just the right one. Here's one, like here are some that were at a recent event. So you just just keep firing to make sure that you get the right one. And
That's
film
correct.
is free on the smartphone, so it's amazing.
Absolutely, that's right. And the camera has much better ability than a we're very positive on smartphones, but ultimately the physics, precludes them from really, in certain picture taking circumstances, capturing an image.
Yeah.
Low light, fast action, and so on. They're just they're not equipped to do that. They won't be because the physics of the optics and so on just make it very, very difficult.
Right. And one thing, I was reading an article about the smartphone camera, and for a manufacturer to have the same technology that a professional camera does, this camera would be real heavy. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, there's physics. Like I said, there's physics involved. The image sensor in there. There's power issues too, which don't underestimate. The sensors in a camera draw a lot more power. And as you know, in your smartphone, there's a fight in there for resources, right? That's why your batteries keep draining fast. So if you put a fast image process in there and then fast, raster and whatever needs to go in a camera in there, it's going to drain the batteries. The cameras will the phones will get larger. And then you have the physics issues with the optics, right? The lens in a smartphone camera is tiny, right? The camera behind you has a big lens that allows more light in. The glass is higher quality. There's a whole mess of physics and refraction and light and reflection, everything that goes on in a camera that just can't really be achieved by the physics limitations of a smartphone.
Right. So do you think that the smartphone camera will ever truly replace a DSLR, and explain what a DSLR is too?
Right. Okay. So I get asked that question a lot.
Okay.
And so if you look at, let's say, an iPhone 5 right now,
okay,
and you compare it to a DSLR, it stands for digital single lens reflex camera, but also in that class are mirrorless cameras, right? Cameras without a mirror.
Right.
Those are cameras, basically, where you're talking about the cameras with interchangeable lenses.
Yes.
That you're allowed to change the lenses. So if I compare an iPhone 5 today with a DSLR from 2002, the iPhone 5 today actually might take a better picture, okay? But as the phones are evolving, so are the cameras. The cameras today are remarkable. Their ability to detect faces, to balance light, to shoot in incredibly low light, essentially no light, very, very high ISO, high camera speeds with very low noise, allows you to shoot, sporting events in low light. It just, like I said, the evolution in the smartphones is going just as fast, or not quite even as fast, as the evolution in the camera market. Camera manufacturers are not dumb. They know that if they don't improve their cameras, they're going to be out of business. Right. So when I look at the cameras being manufactured today, I mean, it's remarkable. Look at the camera that Panasonic just launched, right? We just did a national launch in our store last week. They're going to have a $900 camera that can shoot 4K video.
Oh, right.
4K video, right? And the aspect of 4K video, even if you're not into video, is that 4K video shoots at 30 frames a second, but each frame is 8 megapixels.
Right.
So you can shoot a lightning storm, and there'll be one frame in there with the lightning bolts, the magic shot, and it'll be an 8 megapixel file. You'll be able to print it up to 20 by 30 in size.
Right, just that magic one shot.
Out of a $900 camera that you can put in your pocket. You can carry it on in your pocket, but you can carry on you or put in your purse or whatever. Right. So that's pretty amazing stuff.
It's a pretty small camera. It's not a big.
Yeah, it's not a big one, but it's not a pocketable camera.
Okay. Yep. But it's definitely getting smaller. So the cameras are getting smaller. The smartphone cameras are getting better with their sensors and the technology. So would you say that this is a great tool for a small business or an entrepreneur, someone who wants to get publicity for their business, great tool to get started with?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if you're in business today and you are not doing smartphone photography, you are missing the boat. You are definitely being put behind everybody else, right? Because you want to do it for social media. You can even do it for quick product shots.
Sure.
You can do it to communicate with your customers. I mean, I've had customers call me in the store and say, can you tell me what this tripod head looks like? Well, what do you think I do? I go take a picture of the tripod head and I send it to them right there on the spot. It doesn't have to be a professionally shot studio shot, right? But they want to see what it looks like.
No, absolutely.
And I like to communicate in pictures like that too, right? Like if you sent me a text and you said to me, are you set up for doing this Skype interview, right? I wanted to be cute. I would take a picture of myself in front of the Skype camera and send it to you.
Right, and we're going to actually take a shot of each other doing this Skype interview so that I can make an Instagram post. You want to do it right now live?
Yeah, we can do it right now. Why don't we do it right now?
We'll show what people do. All right, I've got my brand right behind me. That is the brand. So we're going to do this. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Wait. I'm exposing off of you. Good. There we go. Woo!
I got you.
Nice job. See? So here's my shot. Whoop.
Wait, no, we got glare there.
There we go. How's that?
Wait, you told me that your phone puts hair on me.
You cropped your head out.
Oh, did I? Oh, is that? Yeah.
You see that?
Look at that.
You figured that out yourself.
Great
job.
How about that?
Nice. Woo! With the coffee.
Yeah, you like that, right?
Yes, your coffee brand, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Always time for marketing.
Right.
So,
I couldn't resist.
That's okay. You never should.
Right, that's right.
It's your airtime. So I want to ask you, Matt, do you have any exciting projects coming down the road? Anything you'd like to find out, to add so that people can find out more information?
Yeah, I mean, certainly I reach out to everybody. Certainly follow me. I'm pretty interesting to follow. I am at M Sweetwood everywhere. M Sweetwood on Facebook, M Sweetwood on Twitter, M Sweetwood on Instagram. Look for me out there. You can follow Unique Photo at Unique Photo everywhere too. You know, that's really a good way for you to see what we do out there. I mean, I think we're a pretty good example of what a business should do with respect to social media. In terms of events here, right, we have our expo coming this weekend. We have a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer on Friday night, actually, David Hume Kimberly. He's speaking. We've got our swimsuit shoot on the lawn, right? We're excited about that. We have our muscle car event on the lawn. That's one Saturday, one Sunday. Did you go on our boat tour last year? Did you do the boat tour?
I did not. I wasn't able to, but I heard about it and I saw all the phenomenal pictures.
Right. So on July 19th, we actually have a New York Waterways boat. We're going to go around Manhattan. We're going to go up down the East River and the Hudson River, and it's pretty amazing. We call it our 5-bridge, 2-river tour. Statue of Liberty, point blank, Intrepid, point blank. Right, really cool. Under the Verrazano Bridge. Very, very cool.
Great.
All good stuff. And we have our balloon festival at the end of July. So these are really fun photography events where you can, with a camera and a smartphone, right? So if I were going on these events, I would take both devices with me. You take the camera so that you get those amazing shots that you're proud of for years and years to come. But you're going to be standing there going under the Verrazano Bridge, right? Don't you want that shot under the bridge and tell all your friends right there on Facebook, I just went under the bridge, right? That's the kind of thing you want to do. So we got really a lot of exciting stuff at Unique Photo, really, really good stuff. And come in and check us out sometime.
Absolutely. I will be in there soon. I'll be in there this week, and most definitely, Matt. And if you would like to hear this interview, see this interview will be available on YouTube. You can find it on my website at saywowmarketing.com. You can also check out the podcast. It's on iTunes and Stitcher. What do you have on your Android there?
I'm not a podcast kind of guy. That requires patience.
Okay.
So I would actually have to sit still and listen to something for more than 30 seconds.
You've heard your episode.
I go watch it on YouTube because I like to see my face.
Okay, so also, you know that this interview will be featured as the expert interview in the smartphone chapter, which is number 2, of my upcoming ebook, Smartphone Photography for Small Businesses and Entrepreneurs.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see. I'm going to read that book.
Thank you. Will you?
Yeah,
you have the patience?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe you'll read it to me. I'll sit there on my running machine, right, and I'll run, and you'll read me the book.
Okay. And then
like
you'll
that.
take a picture of it and we'll put it on Facebook.
Facebook, exactly.
All right, great. Well, this has been a fabulous interview.
Thank you,
again,
Vickie.
Matthew.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.